Welcome back to the UIA Trusted Partners Podcast. On today's show, we have a very special episode. We have a business across from me that supports nonprofits here in our back door and across, Nebraska here. So we'll get more into that here. But allow me to introduce Joey McKernan, CEO and owner of Equip Global. Joey, how are you?
I'm great, Dylan. How are you?
I'm excited to have you guys on the show. We love nonprofits here on the show, and we love to support them, and that's exactly what you guys are doing. So let's dive right into it. If I'm a listener, I'm just hearing the name for the first time. What is Equip Global, and what do you do, and how long have you been servicing Omaha?
Yeah, so Equip Global is a consulting group. We've been about 3.5 years in now, and we help nonprofits grow their capacity. So grant writing, grant consulting, fundraising, coaching. We do some PR services. So really, we're a full service firm that's designed to help nonprofits any way we can to grow their capacity, their resources, so that they can help more people.
I love it because I get a lot of my info from your guys' website. You and I had a little video call as well that helped me flesh out my questions here. Your guys' website's awesome. It is literally all about the nonprofits and what you guys can do. So that'll be down in the description below. So if you want to look at that while we're talking, you can definitely be doing that. Now, I'm a little curious just because I like to kind of peek back the curtain right away. Where did this calling come from to just be that support system for nonprofits?
Yeah, so 2010 or 2009, I started, one of my first jobs was at a nonprofit. So my dad took a job at the Open Door Mission, shout out Candace and them. And he was like, hey, we have this summer job and I think it'd be great. I was a freshman, I think, and I was like, okay, whatever. Found myself working in a nonprofit, getting in there, really just doing any job that I had to do, right? And you're young, and so start that, and then I was there for a long time. I think I was there for probably 7 or 8 years.
Wow.
I moved into Abide, Omaha. Shout out Abide. Yeah. And the Dotzler family over there, and really stepped into really what it looks like to lead a nonprofit, to grow, to fundraise, to build partnerships. So basically my whole career was nonprofit. My dad was in business growing up a little bit. So I knew business, but I really was trained in the nonprofit space, saw the ins and outs, saw the challenges, fundraise, all that stuff. And then, about 2022-ish, somewhere in there, I started helping nonprofits. Nonprofits started showing up at Abide, and we're just like, how can we help you? And we started coaching them. That turned into me providing that service for them, and then that's where Equip was born. And took it full time about 3 months after that, and we've been building it ever since. So.
And it keeps on growing. I love the work that you guys are doing, and I love a lot of the systems and support that you offer. We'll dive right into that here in just a few. But I didn't want to let it slide here that you're an author of a book. I can't let that one slide here.
Is that on the question?
It is on my question.
I didn't see that. I guess I read them well enough.
So you are the author of the book, Discover Your Purpose. Is that correct? And then because I'm a big reader. I love even audiobooks as well. Where can we find that? And what's kind of a quick overview of what we can expect from that read?
Yeah, I wrote that book when I was at Abide still. And we really had this passion, still do. I mean, just helping, especially the younger crew, high school kids, college kids, just trying to figure out who they are and trying to figure out what their passion is and their gifts. And so you can find it on Amazon, Discover Your Purpose, Joey McKernan. Audiobook is also available, paperback. We just really have a passion, especially for the youth. People in my life really invest and said, I think you're good at this, and they took a chance on me and took a risk on me, and I think I really wanted to write it for kind of the younger audience. So, I
love that.
I did not read that.
Yeah, I couldn't let that one slide. Yeah, of course. I mean, being a media guy in a past life here, I had to make sure that you get some recognition because that's not an easy feat, first of all.
No, it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. It's a lot of writing, and your brain goes, did I already write that? It's a lot of work. So
a lot of credit there where it is due, and go check it out. It is Discover Your Purpose. We'll try to link that down in the description below, at least to Amazon to go get that. Yeah, of course. Now, you're all about nonprofits. I love that fact. And of course, we here at UIA love supporting them as well. You support them, you help them flourish. And on top of that, I saw in your website, you had two kind of groupings of how you help them. You have consulting, and then you have what's called fractional services. And I kind of want to start with the consulting, and we'll get into fractional here in just a second. What kind of services does that nonprofit really get help on from the consulting side of things?
Yeah, so that was really what Equip was started from, was the consulting side. One of the main things we run is called the Thrive program. The Thrive program is what the nonprofits go through. There's kind of two main tracks. The first track is monthly giving. So one of the big things we saw, we still see it, big or small, nonprofits struggle with cash flow. Yeah. Cash flow is an issue. And if you've ever fundraised, you get about 2.5 shots a year to raise big chunks of money, fundraisers, springtime, fall time, end of year. And so it was one of the issues we had to abide and probably at Open Door at some level. Like, our cash flow was not good, and it rarely is in the nonprofit space. So that was a big problem that I wanted to solve with the consulting and Thrive, and we still do it all the time, is helping nonprofits grow their cash flow and monthly giving. And then the second part of that is the major gifts, grants, and really showing them and giving them the steps on how to do it practically. Sponsorships are a big thing, a part of that too.
Yeah, so I think that's a lot of things that maybe they don't even consider. Like, oh, hey, we should get a sponsor for this, instead of just, all right, now we got to fundraise and we're crowdfunding and we're trying to get the air in there. But sometimes if you have that name attached to something, it helps draw extra eyes.
Exactly. And I think, again, we're really designed, at least on the consulting side, for kind of the up and coming or smaller nonprofit. So people that really haven't been trained in it, didn't go to college for it, but then they're like, oh, I have to raise $300,000. Like, where do I go? Where do I start? And I think that was really, that coaching and consulting side is really where we started. And so the Thrive program, we've seen incredible results and really helped kind of that up and coming nonprofit see $100,000, $200,000 gains in some of that program. So we still run it every day, and we have other consultants that help run nonprofits through it too.
I love that, because I think about the nonprofits that I've had to sit across from me and just some of the pain points. It's finance. It's trying to raise money. So I know some nonprofits I'm going to recommend your way after the show today.
And the fun thing about monthly giving and cash flow is that I think they all need it. And just stabilizing, and a lot of them, and I saw it when I was in it, like, we just were not stable ever. Like, we're always hustling and chasing the next big gift. And I was just kind of tired of that. And so, monthly giving is critical. And
chasing those dollars, that can really wear down a great team.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, it really is.
Just speaking from experience, it's exhausting.
It really can be. Now, the second half of that coin is your fractional services. Now, I was a little curious about those, because I'm a little more wanting to know what that really entails and what sort of help that the nonprofits should expect when they reach out about those services.
Yeah, so, a nonprofit hiring a full W-2 person isn't always strategic. You want to keep your overhead low as a nonprofit. So sometimes it's easier to hire us as a fractional support to your team. And it helps in a lot of ways. You're not paying out insurance, not paying all that. And so fractional really is just that concept of how can we fractionally give you a service that you otherwise don't want to hire in-house. There's a couple of ways we do that. So grant writing, the oldest fractional model in my mind in the nonprofit space. Grant writers have been around for a long time. And then a newer one, but a really exciting one, is the PR services we're offering. And so really a PR specialist, Jessica Marino-Krenz, is really heading that up. She's been amazing and really putting these nonprofits on awareness tours in the community. Most donors really care about, does the community get behind this brand? That's important to them. Yeah. And I saw this at Open Door and Abot. People just knew us and they gave to it just because they knew us. Yep. And so it's so important, especially for the smaller upcoming, like, people don't know them. And when you're a lone wolf in people's heads, giving can be nervous. It makes me nervous. And, do people actually trust this brand? And are they legit? And so the PR piece has been really growing, and I've really enjoyed seeing that happen.
Yeah, I think Jessica's doing some great jobs. So shout outs to Jessica. She connected us.
Shout out Jess. She probably did. Oh, I'm sure she did. Yeah.
And then she also actually connected me with the Collective Hope.
Oh,
they were
Cliff.
Just, yeah. Cliff was just on the show a couple days ago.
Cliff's great. Yeah, Cliff is amazing.
Yeah, super, super nice, and I love that organization. That is a powerful one. To say the very least about it. But no, I love that you guys are incorporating that part of things. I think that is really almost a pain point in itself for a lot of nonprofits, because some of those people, they're great at what they do and they are passionate about what they're doing. Doesn't mean you're a people-facing person. I mean, that's just there's a lot of people that are, but sometimes it's just not your bag. So I love that that's a fellow offering that you have there.
Nonprofits have brand challenges. I mean, statistically, it's one of the least trusted entities in our society because of the tax exemption and what the money is being used for. And so I think brand trust and who's leading that brand is incredibly important.
Absolutely. Now, of course, being a fellow podcaster, I also can't let this slide. You have some podcasts on your guys' website.
Yeah, we do.
You have the Equip Show. I'm just curious for us listeners out there, where can we listen to it and when's the best way?
Yeah, so we mainly push that on our Facebook. So Equip Global, pretty simple. And then we probably post about 2 episodes a week of different nonprofits. It's really to generate awareness, let them tell their story, similar to what I'm doing here today. Just tell that story to get it out and to build trust and for them to share it. So it's a great marketing package for them to just be able to share to their audiences. And like you interviewing me today, I do a lot of this all day, every day, I feel like. So
I was like, now how does it feel to be on the other side of the seat?
It feels weird, honestly. But it's great, and it goes back to that, how can we just keep adding value, get their name out, get their brand out. So
and I think podcasts are kind of the wave of the future at this point. I feel like that's kind of where media is starting to trend.
For sure.
And do have a couple of people that have been on the show. Todd Studer, he works over in Iowa, and he has Lost Hills Media is what he's doing. And he's basically mimicking radio with podcasts.
Oh, cool.
It's very interesting, very cool. So shout outs to him.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a very interesting way he's trying to help. Again, kind of help businesses, help nonprofits, and showcase them in ways that are kind of newer. So, very interesting wave that we're kind of getting to ride in today's world.
I agree.
Now, of course, we've mentioned it already. Social media, go like and follow Equip Global. Where can we find you exactly? We've said Facebook. Is there anywhere else?
Yeah, so Instagram, equipglobal.co is our website. That's going to be the main spot. Instagram, Facebook, and then our website. So
love that. And we'll have your website tagged in the bottom of this description below, as well as the book to discover your purpose. That could be something that maybe helps change a couple people and maybe gets them into a good space for themselves. Now, of course, you guys being mostly the helper in a lot of things, this question may not totally fall in line, but if it does, I'd love to know what's coming up. Are there any events or anything you've got your hands on or being a part of that you'd like to promote?
Yeah, we're gonna have a workshop here. I don't have an exact date yet, but if you follow Facebook, we'll have it on there. If you're a nonprofit, we just did one of our workshops. So we have a workshop about every 2 months. We had one with John Levy from the Scott Foundation. When we host our workshops, we want them to be incredibly valuable, practical, primarily for nonprofits. And so John he did an amazing job. I don't know how I'm going to get a guest to top it, but he was amazing. But we'll have one in about 2 months, and awesome. Keep an eye out on that. If you're a nonprofit, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, I think that'll be fantastic. And
there's only about 60 seats available for those, so
you got to get
your seat. Yeah, and it fills up pretty quick.
I like that, though. I mean, that really, I think when you have kind of a finite amount, that really shows you who's wanting to be there, too. Oh, yeah. So I like that. And, of course, best of luck with trying to top your last guest. I know that's always how do I do that?
Yeah, we're trying to figure that out. I'm like, John's great.
It's like, John, you did too good.
Yeah. Gosh, dang it.
Dang it, John.
Raj was one before. We talked about storytelling. He's amazing from Fruitful Design. They're amazing. We're just going to keep bringing in great guests.
I love it. And I think that's what's going to be super, super important as these nonprofits start to hear the name more. They start to gravitate more. And as they start to pop up, since I feel like there's new ones almost every single year.
We might have filed them. Yeah. That's on the fractional side, sometimes we'll file new nonprofits.
Oh,
so we're always pumping them into the market.
That's super helpful. Yeah. Hey,
someone's like, are you the one sending them all in? I'm like, I am. We are the ones. So
sorry to flood the system.
We're a big believer in the market.
Absolutely are. Now, Well, for those of us who are on this side of the table, so to speak, to where we don't really get to see behind the curtain of Equip Global, what's one of those parts of the job that you really feel it just never gets that spotlight or the attention it really deserves?
It deserves. It's a strong. I think the best part of what we get to do is like these I get to see these nonprofits working their butt off. Mm-hmm. And I think people don't realize how hard it is. You know, I always tell our nonprofits, like a lot of especially the ones that raise from just straight donors, like you're trying to get people to be generous. Yeah. And it's not easy. Like to get someone to give and to let go of their money that they've worked hard for and to invest in something that's not going to have a monetary return, but a communal return and community impact is difficult. And I don't think people realize how hard that is. Like, and how people always ask me, like, did you ever feel like working at a buy, like it was ever momentous or like, and I don't know, kind of, not really. Like from a fundraising side, it's a grind. It's always been a grind. And so I get to see and work behind the scenes with nonprofits in that grind and hopefully make it a little bit easier. Yeah. And give them, breakthroughs, but it doesn't take it away. Like it's always hard. And so I think people on the outside looking into the sector, it's like, oh, well, just keep doing your thing. And it's like, man, it's a lot of work. And I just think, having compassion a little bit on them. And it's like, man, business, you find the market, things typically flow a little easier. But in the nonprofit, you're kind of going uphill all the time. Yeah. And so I'm always like with them in that going up that hill. And it's amazing to see the dedication they have, because you have to be dedicated and you have to believe in it because it's already pretty hard anyways. Yeah. Yes, it is. That's probably the best part I get to be a part of.
No, I think that's a phenomenal answer, because I think that's a really good point for people to hold on to, is give those people running those nonprofits a little more grace than you probably do, because I think of animal shelters in particular. Yeah. We all the time, you hear people going, oh, it's so sad. Oh, it's terrible that they're in the shelter, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Well, have you donated to them? Well, and that's always kind of the answer you get back to them. And it makes
They're not making personal money, like a lot. They're giving their life to this cause. Like, so I think just, that empathy of like, man, it is hard. And it's not just business. Like people put some similar expectations on them. It's like, man, this is really hard, and they could use your help in a lot of ways. And so, I just think I get to see that, and I get to be a part of that.
I think that's powerful. I think that's very powerful, because those nonprofit, I'll just call them runners. Yeah. Have somebody to go with instead of just go alone, or they maybe have a partner that they're just trying to figure it out kind of thing. So very, very powerful of what you do and how you're in a stance to really help. So very appreciative of just on my side for all the work that you're doing. Yeah. A little curious, because Equip Global, everything has its pain points, everything has some challenges to run through. What have been some of those challenges that you've had to either navigate for Equip Global or for the clients that you're serving?
I think on our business side, trying to figure out, especially in the beginning, like, what are we going to do? Who are we going to help? There's a lot of nonprofits. I mean, in Omaha alone, there's about 7,000 local, which for a city our size is a lot. Yeah. I think we had to figure out what we were and what we weren't as a brand, which took time. We really believe we're designed for the up-and-comer, the mid-size, the small. We believe that. And it took a while to figure out how that all kind of works, and like, how do we figure out our pricing? How do we figure out how do we help them? How do we figure out the business side? I mean, it took a while. I would say, and like I said before, for the nonprofits themselves, I mean, obviously everything with the slowing down of the freezing on the federal level, that's becoming a challenge. And that puts pressure on the private funders, and it kind of trickles into the nonprofit. Right. So like foundations right now, I think, are feeling a little bit of that pressure, which then trickles into our clients, and then they're like getting nervous with that. And so just dealing with all that and just trying to navigate that, because you just really don't know. I mean, federal can make a decision tomorrow, and it's like, I've known some to go out of business that day. I mean, wow. So you just have to be careful, and diversify. And we try to help our nonprofits prepare for that stuff, like diversifying their income, monthly giving, cash flow, like that stuff matters, because something could be decided at a state level DHHS or something like,
yeah,
and they could be out of business tomorrow. So there's a risk in that, just like in any business, like you have risks. And so how do we diversify so that we protect ourselves against those risks?
Yeah. And I think
have insurance,
and,
you know, and like just helping guide them through that.
Yeah. But that's why you talk to trusted professionals like you. You're all about these company or these industries, these nonprofits, and you are about helping them. So you know the avenues, and if you don't, I'm sure you tackle where to go find it.
Of course.
So it's one of those that, definitely talk to the professionals over at Equip Global if this sounds like you could maybe use their assistance. Of course, again, we're having the distinct pleasure to sit down with the CEO and owner, Joey McKernan. It's not all doom and gloom, though, in industries like ours. There are some fun moments of it, and there's some really great things that we get out of it. I'm a little curious, what's one of the best moments that you can recall that Equip Global's given you?
One of the best moments. I feel like we have great moments all the time. If I'm honest, like we as a team every week we'll get together, and we're starting to do this more of like sharing the wins that we're seeing in the nonprofit. And sometimes you don't see them on the front side, but like things behind the scenes. I mean, I just had a client the other day, like she texted me, she's like, it's working, you know, like it's working. Like they were getting more sponsorships, and it's like, it's working. And every time you coach or consult somebody, at the end of the day, it's like, I can't control that donor. I can't make them give to you, but I can give you the best opportunity for the, breakthrough possible, in my opinion. But I can't make them give. So when anytime a donor gives, or when there's clarity, we just did a retreat with a group where we had to make a hard decision with them to shut down something. But out of that, they're shifting their model, and I think they're excited. Yeah. And they're lean, and they're better. In some ways, going to be more efficient and better in different ways. And so just seeing that and like walking away, and I saw some posts after that, and they're like, we know where we're going now. Like, we know what we're building. And so just stuff like that. I think, you see that in some ways every day or every week in some level, like small wins, because that's really, in my opinion, what builds up to those big wins. We've had some clients, have $100,000 wins. But again, those take time. I mean, those can take months, if not years to get to. And so we're counting the little wins, counting the big wins, but always looking at, breakthroughs in different ways. And at a board level, at a team level.
I think that's the best way to look at it. I mean, not only from the clients that you're serving, but as a team that's supporting them. I think that's a great, healthy attitude to kind of have about it. It's like, where are we winning on both sides? Yeah. I think that's a really powerful kind of objective view that you have on it. So kudos to you. Kudos to having Equip Global being a phenomenal kind of workspace to be in, because clearly the people that work with you are very passionate about it as well. Jessica, I mean, I had her on the phone, and she was going a mile a minute about nonprofits, and I'm like, okay, well, you asked me 30 questions in the span of 10 seconds, so let me backtrack here. But I love it because it's just speaking about the passion that she has, because she believes in the drive just like you do. So I think it's literally from the top down. It's through and through. They are there for you. That's Equip Global. Now, we are coming up on my last couple questions here. I'm a little curious, though. What is something you want listeners to know more about, either when it comes to Equip Global or about your industry in general, or maybe nonprofit industry in general? Yeah,
so I think obviously we're a firm and we're a business. So like sometimes people think like, are you a nonprofit? We're not a nonprofit, but we work with them. And if nonprofits are listening to this, we have month-to-month subscription fees for some of our programs. And I think that helps them be able to afford a group like us. Some groups, we have larger contract deals. We have stuff like that for certain services, but especially with the Thrive program, we do have options where people can essentially subscribe to this. And I think that makes it, especially with the startups, that makes it a little more affordable.
A little more palatable.
And we wanted to be that for especially kind of the startups. Like, we wanted to be able to work with them where they were. So that was a big deal. I think for the sector too, that diversification, nonprofits, that's probably the biggest, that's like the big thing I'm so passionate about, is helping, if you're a nonprofit listening to this, like helping prepare for the future and the challenging realities. I'm not a fluffer. I'm not going to oversell this stuff. Like, and hopefully you listen, like, it's hard. Don't get it twisted. Like, it's difficult. And but we can help get you there. And I think there's a lot of like, oh, you're going to get this $100,000 grant tomorrow. That's just not true. But to get you either grant ready takes work. Yeah. To get you to major gift ready takes work. To set up a monthly giving campaign takes work. But we come alongside you. We do it for you in certain services. And we're going to just be in it. And I think my background too of being in it, like just seeing it, it's like, this isn't theory. Like, right. I know how hard it is. I can think back to just wanting to just, oh my goodness. But being able to navigate through that, break through that, see that, have mentors in my life, I was able to see success in that. So yeah, and that's what we do.
I love it. I think, again, it was born from a place of passion because the passion for nonprofits was there early, and it just grew into who and what you do today. I think it couldn't come from a better place, if you ask me. So Equip Global, we appreciate you having on the show here. We got a few more questions for you, but these are the fun questions. This is all the business questions are done.
Uh-oh. That is fun. That's fun for me.
I jokingly call them the fun questions, but these are the personal side of the coins. So to start off, we're going to have a little fun box here. So
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, friend of the show, Blake Martin with FranNet.
Yeah, no, Blake.
Yeah, I love Blake. He's a great guy. Gifted me this for coming on to the show and a client referral. So I was trying to figure out a good way to incorporate these. So these are just random questions.
Okay.
So feel free.
This makes me nervous. Answer the other one.
Yeah. So the option is yours. I have kind of made this to be kind of the turn the tables, so to speak. Okay. So you can now get back into the interview seat if you'd like and fire 3 questions off at me. Okay. Or we can just kind of go back and forth about 3 questions that have come on.
Oh, man.
But you get to pull and you get to choose, and these are the ones that have been
So am I answering the questions or are you answering?
That's your choice. We can both answer, or you can just have me answer.
We'll both answer.
All right. You get to pick 3. This side's the used side, so all these are free.
Oh, okay. And I have to do 3?
You can do up to 3 if you'd like. You don't have to specifically do 3. I just picked 3 because it's a nice number.
All right. Dylan, what's the funniest advice your mother gave you?
Oh, boy. I don't know how appropriate this is. She jokingly, I don't know if she meant this jokingly or if she just had a case of dyslexia that happened. But instead of, don't sweat the petty things, she had accidentally said, don't pet the sweaty things. I don't know why.
Don't pet the sweaty.
Yeah. So it just stuck with me my whole life. I'm like, that kind of makes sense, I guess, Mom. Thanks.
You remember that one.
It's there.
Don't pet the sweaty things.
Yeah, that's the only one I can think of.
That's hilarious.
How about you?
That's the funniest advice. My mom, we always joke still to this day. I don't know if it's advice, but she always put Vicks on everything. The Vicks Icy Hot stuff. Yep. And it was like, it turned, have you ever seen My Big Fat Greek Wedding? Yep. They put the Windex thing. Yep. That we always joke. That was like, she puts Vicks on everything. And it's like, if you have, if you lost your finger, she'd be like, just put Vicks on it. It'd be fine. Fixes everything. We still make fun of her about it today. And she still does it. And we'll be over at the house with my daughter. And I'm like, yep, it smells like Vicks.
Yep. Smell before you hit the door.
She's going to kill me for this one. Okay. Which is more important, intelligence or common sense?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think for me, it's common sense.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think intelligence is a fantastic thing to achieve. If you don't know how to apply it in practical use, I think you're just kind of as useful as a book on a shelf.
Yep. I think any entrepreneur is probably going to say common sense.
Yeah.
I mean, most of us weren't that intelligent, if we're honest. I mean,
let's be real with each other.
I'm not that intelligent. I
always considered myself more street smart than book smart.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I've got good education. Yeah. I know a lot more about other things that aren't book related.
Yeah, I was definitely a C student.
Hey, C's get degrees right here.
Yeah, C's. Yeah, most people in business, start are C students. So
that's true.
If you could master one instrument, what would it be?
Ooh, that would probably be the electric guitar for me.
I think drums. Ooh, I've always wanted to learn the drums, and I think I can drum until I try once in a while to drum, and I'm like, I really suck. But I would love to learn the drums, actually learn it, but it's really hard.
Yeah, and same with the guitar. So I did attempt back in my earlier days of like junior high.
Okay.
Was going fine. I was learning, and then went into high school. And where I went to high school, there was only like 15 people for sports, so you kind of had to go out.
Sure.
So a few finger injuries from football and basketball. I don't quite grab the guitar as I used to, but I'm kind of curious in my later age if I couldn't pick it back up and be all right now. So
you could do it. I play a little guitar.
I'll have to try.
Yeah, and I have a broken ring finger.
I was like, I got a couple.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, I got some that are twisted. We had old equipment. I'll just put it that way. So when you went to go block somebody, your fingers got caught.
Oh, gosh.
So, yeah, unfortunate, but you had to do with what you had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess so.
Now, this is going to be a fun one for you. I think you're going to have a really kind of good answer for this one. So I always pose this question: is if I'm coming in from out of town, I'm talking to you on the phone, and I'm like, hey, give me the Mount Rushmore of what I've got to go check out while I'm in Omaha. What's on your Mount Rushmore right now?
Like you personally, like this is you right here.
Sure. Yeah. If I'm coming in, I'm like, hey, Joey, I want to go check out some things in Omaha. I just don't know what to go look at. What should I go check out?
I'm really not the person to ask about this. I go to 2 places in my day. I go to work,
fair.
I go home.
I mean, my wife would be great to answer this question.
That's fair.
Obviously, you got to go to the zoo.
Of course.
Of course. I'm sure I'm not the only one that said that.
That's
on
the number one answer on the
podcast.
show.
I mean, College World Series is always a good one. I think the new, what's that? Oh my goodness, my wife is going to kill me for not knowing this. What's the new Heartland Park area, like by the Kiewit Luminarium? If you have kids.
Yeah. Kiewit's very cool.
In that area down by the Kiewit Luminarium, by Conagra, it's like that Heartland, that new area. That's amazing.
Yeah.
We just took my daughter down there, and I forget.
They've done a lot
It's
of
even
work.
down there, and like Gene Leahy's connected, and like it's all kind of interconnected. I think that's amazing.
It's such a cool place to go see.
There's a new children's museum coming downtown.
Is there?
Yeah, probably in the next year or two. Huge project, so I'm assuming that's going to be amazing. So I think for kids, you get a lot of people like coming to Omaha. They're like, this is a great kids city. Lots of parks, lots of great spots, and I think those are great spots.
I love that because those are a little bit outside of what we normally get recommended. Because number one answer is the zoo, number two answer is CWS. But no, Kiewit never gets enough mention. I feel like because that luminarium over there is really cool.
A little steep, don't fall down, but on the hill with kids, but kids love it. And then connected to the Heartland, Conagra area, and then that's connected a little bit to the Gene Leahy
And they did a lot of work down the Gene Leahy area.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful.
Great. If you got a 4-year-old, 3-year-old, it's a great spot.
Love it. Now, my final question for you, and then we'll cut you loose for the day. I can't hold you here forever. What is something here in Omaha that you wish people either knew more about or supported more?
Just anything?
Anything that you feel should get a mention. Hey, it can be Equip Global because I feel like they should be supported more.
No. I would say the Nebraska Diaper Bank.
Really? Okay.
The nonprofit. I'm going to throw a left curve at you. I think I have a lot of nonprofits in my mind, and if I can name everyone that we work with, I would. And if you need to learn more about more nonprofits, go to our podcast.
Absolutely.
And they're all up there, and they're all amazing. One of the ones I think doesn't get enough recognition would be that one. I think they're doing something in Nebraska, across Nebraska, with diapers, producing diapers, distributing diapers all across the state. Yeah. And they're right here in Omaha. And Tegan is the founder. She's amazing. And Anna and the team over there. I mean, they're doing great work. And diapers, you can't go wrong. I mean, diapers are critical. And when I was at Open Door, that was probably the first thing that came off the shelves. It's also expensive. Yeah. They also don't get much benefits. Like, you don't get that many benefits for diapers from the state. And so, great cause. Yeah. Cliff, you mentioned him earlier. He's the board president there. And Tegan and Anna, the team is amazing. So
yeah, I love that. I think that's a great mention as well.
Yeah,
we'll have to get him on the show.
Get him on the show.
I haven't had him on the show yet, so we'll have to get him on the show and all the other amazing nonprofits that you have as well. Because doors always open for nonprofits. Of course, if you're a nonprofit listening, doors open. All you got to do is reach out to me. Yep. Pretty easy to find me as well.
Second one, sorry, can I add a second one? Can I do a second highlight?
Of course.
I'm just gonna go through Carol's House of Hope. I'm gonna throw them out there.
Okay, what's Carol's House of Hope?
Carol Kinlow. People that age out of foster care. Moms, people that age out of foster care. She's a transitional living spot. smaller transitional living spot, but just a great
I love that
cause.
Yeah, it's a fantastic
she does
cause.
Amazing work, and she just won an award, some grandmother award in the city, but she's amazing, and I think we need to get her out there more.
Yeah. Well, I'll be getting her on the show
Great
hopefully, because that's a really like niche topic first of all, but one that is probably a glaring issue in society.
Yeah, foster care. We work with a lot of foster care groups, and I've learned a ton about it. Like the gaps and the challenges in that system. Lots.
Well, we'll definitely get some foster nonprofits on here so we can learn more about it, because now you've got me curious.
Hey.
So, viewers, I want to thank you for taking the time out today to tune into today's program. And Joey, thank you for coming on to today's show. Of course, we've had the distinct pleasure to sit down with Joey McKernan, the owner and CEO of Equipped Global. Now, if you want to talk to him, link down in the description to reach on out. Plus, hey, you can buy the book, Discover Your Purpose. We'll have that link down there as well. And of course, you listeners, thanks again for tuning in, and we'll have more next time right here on the UIA Trusted Partners Podcast.